This is about to be some wild. Have you ever used some tweezers to lace your kicks? If not, I understand. But if you got a pair of these LeBron 17s and you want to change the lacing, go get you some tweezers right now.
Tell the labels that it's pay time. I think I'm worth a couple M's now. Show me the money, no Jerry Maguire. Rapper for hire, neighborhood murder supplier. I been through that fire, but I flow like Poseidon. My squad is out beta, call me Marley Bin Laden. Bitch, I'm a Martian. Bitch, I'm a goblin.
YouTube, what's happening?
What it do, baby?
It's your guy Hitch, and I believe I'm a man of the people. If you guys make a request, it's my job to get y'all the video. So about a year and some change ago, I did a tutorial on 3 different ways to lace the LeBron 16. If you have these and you have not seen the video, you can go find the video, check that out. But there were requests for me to do a lacing tutorial on the 17s, and honestly, I don't own any 17s. I had no interest in buying a pair of 17s because I do not like the 17s. But again, if you guys make the request, it's my job to get the video. So what I did was I figured if I'm gonna do a lacing tutorial, at least get a colorway that like looks halfway good or might have some decent features on it. So I got the 2K player exclusive joints, and we are going to do a lacing tutorial on these. So like I said in the intro, if you ain't got your tweezers, go grab them, because with no further ado, we're about to lace these joints up. So before we dive into lacing this up, a few things I want to call out because I don't want you guys to screw yourself. For starters, this is going to be the easy, old-fashioned, regular way of tying up the LeBron 17s, where you're not taking into consideration the tongue or any of the features or anything on the tongue. You don't care about it. You're just lacing over the tongue. It's your traditional way of lacing your shoe. The purpose of this video is to be able to see that tongue with the shoe completely laced. Now, there are going to be some differences between the 17 and the 16s. So if you watch the 16s, there were 3 different ways you can lace it, and it's really because of these eyelets that are running up the entire tongue. You're not going to have that on the 17. So there's technically really only one way that you're going to be able to lace this shoe, maybe variants of the one way, but there's really just one way of lacing up the 17s to make sure you can see the tongue. So I'm going to put this to the side. And step 1 is, of course, unlacing the shoe. Now, warning. Before you get to this stage, you have to ask yourself, do you want to go through the hell of trying to get this lace from this 3rd eyelet to the 4th eyelet? Because it's extremely tough. I'm telling you guys that right now. So if you don't want to go through the hell of doing it, don't go any further down in this. What's going to happen is, if you go all the way down to the 2nd eyelet, it's going to allow you to put the laces underneath this tongue, which is great. But I'm telling you, it's very hard to get the laces in between the 3rd and 4th eyelet. This is battle knit or fly knit, whatever you want to call it, but they call it battle knit. And below the battle knit, you're going to have this lining. This lining that you see here, there's a very similar lining down here. And as you're putting the laces into this, it's very hard to get it back to that other side. So there are 2 tricks to it. You can lace it up without using that lining, which I'm going to do, or you can struggle and go through that lining, but I'm not going to do that in this video. It takes way too long. It's extremely hard to do. I'm not doing that. Step 2 is get you some tweezers. This will save your life if you got big fingers or big hands like I do. Put it to the side, and I'm going to show you how I am going to lace this using these 3rd and 4th eyelets. Again, I'm only going to use the battle knit. I am not going through that other material underneath because it's too hard. So step 1, we're going to go underneath this first loop on the tongue. This is pretty easy. It slides straight through. But then again, if it becomes tough, use a cheat code. Drag this through. We're not going to hit that loop yet, just because I know it's stress. And then we're going to go left over right. get the cheat code. Pull it through. So we got this done. As usual, I try to use a little bit of airspace when I'm lacing up my kicks. I don't like them super tight. Now, this is gonna be the first hard part. So with these eyelets, you try to get as close to the fly knit as possible. So if you can see, I'm actually right up against the fly knit. If I go deeper, where you hear that pop, I'm officially in that other layer. I'm not doing that. So go back out, get right up against that fly knit, and it makes your life a lot easier to get the lace through. You may not want to do this if you play ball in your joints, because I don't know how like sturdy that battle knit is, but that's what we're doing for this, because I only wear, if I were to, this would be worn casually, not on the court. And then we're gonna do the same thing on the right side. Get right up against that battle knit. Oh shoot. I think I went into that layer. Uh-oh. Go up against the battle knit. Even going up against just the battle knit is hard, as you guys can see here. There we go. Got it in. Pull it through. Flatten the lace out a little bit. You know what I mean? This is how you should be looking after step 1. Step 2, we're just going to keep that same pattern going. So you have a loop here, you have 1 loop, 2 loop, and then a big loop. Well, actually, it's a little small one, but you have a 3rd loop at the top. So we're going to go again through the loop. If it becomes hard as it seems to be doing, we're going to just grab the cheat code. Yep, cheat code time. Pull that thing through. Now these eyelets are going to be a lot easier. Some of them may be tough, but for the most part, these are going to be your easier eyelets lacing the entire shoe. Again, I lace these a little bit loose. It's up to you how tight or how loose you want to lace your shoe. So after, what is that, 5? After 5 eyelets, we can now see some of that zebra print, and you got your 2K logo down at the bottom. And I think we may go through the second loop. Tell you one thing, these LeBron laces are stiff as hell. So now, I typically like to skip a lace somewhere during the lacing process. We have 1, 2, 3 eyelets left. I'm probably just gonna hit these last 2. There's no way in hell anybody should be lacing their shoe up to the top here unless they playing ball. And we're gonna use the second loop again to hit that other eyelet. So we're just about done. This actually looks, again, I'm not a fan of the 17, but the lacing looks decent so far. We got one more eyelet left and we should be good to go. Now what I will say is I know for sure this is gonna need tweezers. When you are doing the top loop, there is a little bit of space here where you can kind of maybe use your finger to get a little bit more leverage. But if all else fails, just get your tweezers. Swear to God, I feel like I'm doing surgery. Finally. There we go. So when you compare it, I definitely would say the tongue on the left looks better than the tongue on the right. You have full visibility of your zebra print on your tongue. You can see his old school. This is the old school. Actually, no, this is the new school LeBron logo. You have the new school LeBron logo, 2K logo, compared to nothing. Now, this is not a review by any means, but being that I showed you, some of those details on the tongue, there are other details of the shoe that stand out to me that I like. The crown, welcome to the necks. This is also going to be on the left tongue as well. I do like that. I kept calling it battle knit. That was the 16s. The knit on the 17s are knit posit, which honestly, they really did try to make this look like foam posit, but whatever. I think, that tag is pretty cool. The insoles, have the 2K20 logos on them. This actually has a 23 LJ on it. I do like stuff like that. Outside of it, whether it's this metallic swoosh or not, I'm a fan of the placement of the swoosh being on the midsole. I'm a fan of that. And then the Air Max 270 air bubble. I'm a fan of the air unit. I was a fan of it on the Air Maxes. I'm a fan of it on the LeBrons. But that's about where it stops me. So there you have it. I hope the lacing tutorial was a help, especially bringing in those tweezers. I kept trying to think of a way to be able to maneuver around the shoe, because if you got big hands or fat fingers like I do, it's hell trying to lace up those 17s. But if you enjoyed the video, make sure you subscribe to the channel, hit the bell. Again, I got that announcement coming, so pay attention to my community posts or go follow me over on Instagram. If there are any other type of videos you want me to do, make sure you hit the comments and let me know. I'm out.
Light up a rocket and I fill up on beer. Your baby mama watch my stories, she be wishing she there. Can't afford no Ferragamo, highly favored to give. All black forgotten hoodie with some fresh Nikes. My new chick meaner than Cruella DeVille. Slap a bitch for the thrill. Godzilla and Hills. We get pulled over by the cops, she keep my weapon concealed. When we fuck, tell me she love me, I'm the best in the field. Unlock my G, now I'm hater proof. Secure the bag, that's my hater noose. Ooh, they watch what that beta do. Middle finger high.